What's going on, ballers? Thanks so much for tuning in again, and welcome back to another Big J Basketball box break video. Today we're not breaking any boxes because we're doing a PSA submission preview video. So that's what our stack is here today. We're going to go through all these cards, take a look at what we're sending into PSA. I'm going to try and guess what grades we might get back on these. So it's always fun to go back and watch these to see how close I was on guessing some of these grades before I sent everything into PSA. We just got a PSA submission back from PSA last week, so that's why we've got the Denny Kaboom PSA 10, Paolo Donruss Green Laser PSA 10. Those both just came back in the submission return we got back from PSA last week. So I think that was last Monday, so you can go check out that reveal if you haven't yet. But this one is going to be taking a look at what we're going to be sending into PSA this week. So we got 19 cards here. Typically, I wait until I get about, anywhere between 15 and 20 cards to send in a bulk submission together. So our first card, we got some PC stuff. I typically send a mix of PC cards and then cards to flip to help pay for the sub. So Alonzo Mourning, Flair Showcase Legacy Collection. Man, this is such an awesome looking card. I think this was the first time they used that. This is kind of what we now know as the Mojo pattern. This is the row 0, numbered out of 100, 38 out of 100. This is 97, 98 Flair Showcase. They actually made the cards, the parallels more rare the second year. Instead of being numbered to 150, they were numbered to 100. And this is the row 0, so this is from the 97, 98 set. This is probably the most sought after one. I bought this raw on eBay, not knowing what the condition was going to look like, but it looks really clean. I mean, I looked this over very closely before I got this prepped and ready to go. I can't really find any flaws anywhere. I know to expect a 10 on a card like this is kind of impossible, but I'm hoping for a 9. I've sent a lot of these in the past. They basically all came back as 8s, even though I thought most of them looked pretty good. So worst case scenario, this gets an 8. Hoping for a 9 though on that one. Hot Hands, Ginobili. I had a lot of bad memories as I was packing this one up to be graded. I already had one of these cards not too long ago. As I was prepping it for grading, I creased one of the corners on the flame right here. I couldn't believe it. Got a PSA 5. I ended up selling it because I found a better raw copy that looked really clean. And I was stressing as I was getting this one into the sleeve and into the card saver. I can't believe I got it in without damaging it. It was not easy to get it in here. But no creases, no nothing. Everything looks pretty good. I mean, I know it's still a tough card to grade just because there's so many edges, all these corners, all these little die cut shapes. Hoping for an 8 on this one. I mean, a 9 would be awesome, but there was a little bit of a surface mark. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through the plastic, but there was a little surface, not a scratch or anything, just kind of like a little mark. So that might bring it down a little bit, but I'm hoping for an 8. On that one, got another rare Ginobili card. This is Credentials numbered to 45. This is Central Credentials Future from 06-07 Fleer EX. Bought this raw from PC Sports Cards, so it's actually funny that I bought it from them on eBay. Now it's going back to them. They're the one they use for the group subs of cards to send to PSA. This looked super clean. I couldn't really find any issues except when I looked a little bit closer. And again, it's going to be really hard to see. I don't know if you can even see it on the video. There's two like very, very tiny like little print lines here on the side. I don't know if they're scratches or if it's a print line and how much PSA is going to deduct for that. The rest of the card looks great, so I hope they don't deduct too much for it. But again, I don't know, maybe an 8. I'm not really sure what to expect on this. A 9 would be awesome. Again, not going to get a 10 just because of those lines. Here you can see a little better there from that angle. You kind of see those two lines right there. So we'll see when this one comes back again. I'm not really sure, maybe an 8. Hopefully not worse than that. This card I picked up recently, Panini Complete Gold Parallel from 2015-16. So this is a really cheap product that Panini issued. And there weren't a whole lot of chase cards, no numbered cards or anything like that. But there was one gold parallel per box. And this was a huge set. I think there's like 300 some cards in this set. So to only get one gold per box in a 300 or so card set, not easy to get any specific player. There are no PSA 10s of this card in existence for KD. Even a lot of the other big players, PSA 10s are like, might be pop 1, pop 2. I think the LeBron's like a pop 1. And I think there's only 1 9, maybe 2 9s. So not a whole lot graded of these, not a lot out there. This looked really great. I bought it on eBay. The centering looked good all the way around. Edges, corners looked good on the front. On the back though, there's a little bit, you can see there's some white on this edge here. So probably going to keep it from getting a 10, but if this gets a 9, that would be great. It would be, equal to the highest graded example out there. But a pop 1, 10 would be great. I think that little white on the back though is probably going to be enough to keep it from getting a 10. And kind of the same thing with this card. We got a bunch of Denny cards here for my Denny PC. This is a Galactic Rookie and Revolution insert. I still have not been able to find anyone trying to sell his base Galactic Rookie. And again, this one looked great all around, just like the KD, but a little bit of white right there on the back, tiny little bit of chipping on this edge. Again, I don't know how badly they're going to ding me for that, but it probably will keep it from getting a 10, but I'm hoping this one can get a 9. But you never know, could get a 10. I've seen worse cards get 10s from PSA, so you never know. This one, we got, I bought on eBay, and I cracked this out of a CSG 9.5 case. I thought it would be harder to crack this CSG case. It ended up not being as hard as I thought it was going to be. PSA and BGS cases are still a little bit tougher, but this one was able to get it out without doing any damage to the card or anything like that. Mint plus 9.5, so it's not a gem mint, but it's a mint plus. So it's better than a 9, but not as good as a 10. PSA doesn't have a 9.5, so I'm assuming this is going to be either a 9 or a 10. It's somewhere in the middle. We'll see what they think about the centering. I know it's a little bit thicker on the bottom than the top, but I looked at a lot of examples of PSA 10 optic cards from this year, and a lot of them look just like this with the centering where it's just slightly thicker on the bottom. So hopefully that's the only issue. Back centering might be a little off too. Maybe I wonder if CSG dinged it for the back centering, but PSA is kind of lenient on back centering. Pink velocity number is 79, so I'd love a PSA 10 of this to match the black velocity to PSA 10 that I already have. We got a whole bunch of Denny Prism rookies. Bought this raw on eBay. Purple Ice to 175 Prism rookie. I have a PSA 8 of this. Centering is better on this one, but still not perfect. A little bit thicker on the left than the right. But again, I've seen PSA 10s get worse centering, but then I've also sent in other Denny rookies that got 8s that I thought should have gotten 9s or 10s. So I'll guess maybe a 9 on this one. This one, I'm really, really, really hoping gets a 10. Bought this raw on eBay. Perfect centering all the way around. That's kind of as 50-50 as you can get. Love the color match blue scope on this card. Such a cool surface effect. And the coolest thing about this card, only numbered to 49, and it's jersey numbered 9 out of 49. Front looked absolutely perfect. The back, I don't know, a tiny bit of white in the corners maybe, but that's so minimal. I'm really hoping we can get a gem on this one. This one's another one that I'm hoping for a 10 because this came out of an SGC 10 case. Blue Prism, 80 out of 199. 80 out of 199, so you can tell that's the exact same card. If it got an SGC 10, I'm hoping it gets a PSA 10. I had success doing this in the past. There's 2 other Denny rookies that were SGC 10s that I cracked out that both got PSA 10s. So I'm hoping this one also gets the same treatment and gets a PSA 10. We got one more. This is a red rookie to 299. This looked so good when I bought it on eBay. Couldn't find any issues anywhere. Again, perfect centering. Everything looked great. When I got it in the mail, there was a little bit of, kind of schmutz on the back there that I wiped off. There was like a little mark left that you can't even see. You basically need a magnifying glass to see. You'll never see it on the video. I'm hoping that little, from whatever I wiped off in the back, I'm hoping that doesn't ding me too much. Otherwise, I think this looks like a 10, but if they ding me for that back that I wiped off, then maybe a 9. But hoping for a 10 on that one. Would love to have a blue and a red PSA 10 color match cards to go in my Denny PC. Now we got some other stuff, non-PC cards that I'm grading. Luka Splash, not a high dollar card, pretty cheap card, but still probably would sell relatively well in a PSA 10. It's got a purple parallel on the Splash insert, really popular insert, popular player. So gonna send that one in. Giddy, I've graded a lot of Giddy cards, had good success selling a lot of them, and this one was a really cool one that I pulled myself actually. I love the Orange Wave 75th anniversary card from Chronicles, this 21-22 season. Looks like it's a great color match for the Thunder uniforms. This one's serial number to 75. Again, couldn't find a flaw, hoping this gets a 10, hoping the Luka gets a 10. Basically, most of these last cards, I'm hoping they all get 10s. Paolo, Rookie of the Year contenders. Again, pretty common raw card, but it's Paolo, so I figured why not grade it. It looked good to me. Hopefully we get a 10. Can move that one. Jaden Ivey, I was a little worried about the centering on this one, a little thin on the top and thick on the bottom. But again, I'm already looking at photos of some Prism cards graded for this year. And the centering on top to bottom can be a little bit off. They're more strict on left to right. This one looked good left to right. Top to bottom, looked close enough to me. Hopefully it gets a 10, but might get a 9 because of that top to bottom centering. Centering on this next bunch of Prism cards all looked perfect to me. This Luka cracked ice was perfect all the way around. And again, Luka is still a popular player. I know he didn't have a great season or a great end to the season. He still made first team All NBA. But the Mavericks, didn't even make the playoffs. Didn't even make the play in. But I still, am able to sell his cards for a pretty good amount. I graded from the previous year an orange ice Luka that got a PSA 10, and it sold for like 55 or 60 bucks or something crazy like that. I'm not expecting this one to sell that high. But if I can get, 30 or 40 bucks out of a PSA 10 here, I think that's definitely worth it. Got some more rookies. Jabari Smith. This is one of the first Prism breaks I did this year for 22-23. Hit this Jabari Smith silver, I think, out of a Target Mega. This one looked great, so hoping for a 10 on that. You might be asking why I'm grading a David Roddy Prism silver rookie. It's a 99-cent card. It's not an expensive card, but I pulled it recently. It looked perfect to me. It's 50-50 centered all the way around. Couldn't find anything even close to an issue anywhere else. Back centering maybe a little bit off, but PSA is not going to not give you a 10 for back centering like that. And I figure, you know what? There's David Roddy is kind of a fan favorite in Memphis, and I know a lot of people are down on Memphis right now, as they should be. But there's going to be somebody who's going to want a PSA 10. There's probably not a lot of people grading this card, so it should have a relatively low pop, I'm guessing. So hopefully I can have one of the few PSA 10s of that card. This one, I'm sure more people will grade if they get one in gradable condition. Jalen Williams, second in Rookie of the Year voting. Green Prism, 50-50 centering all the way around. This one looked great too. Couldn't find any issues with the edges or surface, or corners, anything like that. So hoping for a 10 on that one. And the very last card, actually just pulled this week out of some Optic Blasters. And again, just my same way of thinking with the other Luka purple splash that I'm grading. And this one, hopefully I can be one of the first people to grade this one. I'm sure there's not a lot of people who are sending it in immediately. There might be some people doing that, but I figure it's a good card to grade. Hopefully this one gets a 10. Again, I couldn't find any issues with it, so figured it's got a good shot. So why not send that one in and see what happens? So by the time this video airs, these will probably already be in the mail to PC Sports Cards, but they still need to collect them and send it off to PSA. My last return came back in about a month and a half, so I'm hoping for about the same time frame on this one. So hopefully within about a month and a half, we have a new PSA reveal to do on the channel. So definitely looking forward to that. Can't wait to see how these come back and what grades I'm able to get on all these. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one.